There are multiple ways of drafting good bustiers. Also, depending on the type of bustier you are drafting, a shoulder dart or an overbust bustier. Subsequently, I will make other videos to show you other methods of drafting a bustier. Today's method is not the bust dart technique method, but it works so well and it is so easy and straight to the point. It is very good for full chested or busty clients because it gives a good grip and full coverage. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So to begin drafting, I proceed to mark out all my horizontal measurements. I mark from my shoulder to my armhole line, my bust point line, under bust, half length, and my blouse length. If you want the type of bustier that you are going to attach to the skirt from the half length, you could just stop everything at the half length. No need to proceed to the full blouse length. But mine is going to be a top that I will bone and wear on its own. That's why I'm using the full blouse length. So I'll just rule out all my horizontal measurements. So after ruling out my measurements, I'll indicate them and mark my neckline and my shoulder measurement out. So like I said about this technique, it is not a bust dart technique, it is just a straight to the point bustier drafting, but it works perfectly well for busty clients. It gives you room for coverage of the cleavage area. So for busty clients, to prevent their bust from spilling out, it allows you control how much of the boobs that is going to be exposed. So I mark out my shoulder measurements and I roll it down. So after marking out my shoulder measurements, I'm going to proceed to come down by 1 inch from the shoulder for my shoulder slope, and I'll connect it to the neckline. So after that, now this is where I'm going to determine how covered I want the bustier to be. For a very busty client, you can go up by 1.5 from the armhole line, depending on how, like I said, it depends on how much covered you want it to be. For mine, my client is a bust 36 and she's full chested, yes, but not so busty, so I'm just going up by 1 inch. I'll be going up by 1 inch. This bustier has a yoke, so it is from the yoke I'm marking my overbust line. So the other part of it is going to be the yoke. So it is from this overbust that I will start marking my contouring for the overbust. So if you want depends on how covered you want it to be. From the armhole line, you can go up by, at the highest should be like 2 inches. That should be well covered enough. Then after that, I'm going to mark my nipple measurement, and I'm going to start it from the overbust line. So I'm going to roll it down. Then when contouring the overbust, I'm using 1 inch on both sides for the overbust. Like I said, my client is full chested but not extremely busty. If it's a client that is extremely busty, you can use 1.25 as the highest for the overbust contour. But make sure that when connecting it to the bust, the nipple point, it is not it's not too curvy. The lines that you are going to use is not too curvy. Then for the underbust, I'm using 1.25. If it is a client that is extremely busty, you can use 1.5. Now for people that let's say a bust 36 that is not so full chested, just some bust 36 that they are just wide, not very full chested, you can use 0.75 to contour the upper part of the bustier. Then for the under part, you can use 1 inch. It depends on how deep you want it to be. Like I said, if you look at the client's bust area and it's not so full, so you can look at it and know what to do. You can use 1 inch on the under bust. Then for the upper overbust, you can use 0.75. Then I'll contour it. Like I said, the upper overbust should not be too curvy, just a little bit of curve. So I'm bringing the 1.25 down, and I'll bring it also down also for the other parts of the other part. I'll just draw the lines down. but make sure you mark it from the under so that you have a straight line. Then I'm just going to make sure that the lines are not so sharp. I'll just blend it in so the lines are not so sharp, so there will be a smooth transition on your under bust. So this is it. Now after that, I'm just going to overlap my over bust on the other part of the over bust. This is just to get, like for the yoke, you can use this that is already here. Just draw your armhole curve. You can use this for the yoke, but just to be sure, in case maybe you are getting confused if the contour is going to affect it, you can just overlap this first contour of the over bust on the other part of it and then redraw your yoke, which means you are going to remark your shoulder line and your neckline, just to be sure. So when you are done, you are just going to have to tape it together. But like I said, you can use the first yoke that is already there. All you have to do is to just connect just do your armhole curve and connect it to your bust measurements. You can go with that, but just to be sure, because it's a tutorial, I'm now going to mark my shoulder. After overlapping it, I'm going to mark my shoulder line and bring it down. Then I'll mark my neckline as well. So I'm going to mark the shoulder line and bring it down to my armhole line. So I'll just connect the straight line. Then I'm going to come down now by my shoulder slope again. My shoulder slope, I use 1 inch. So I'm going to come down and then connect it to the neckline, because I can see the dot of my neckline here. So that line is no more our shoulder line, except you used it initially as your yoke. So now at this place that has the crease line, I'm going to, by the time I'm done, I'll be cutting it off and taping it back to the other side. You will see how I will cut it off when I'm done, but for now let's just mark it down. I'm trying to mark the place that I overlapped it with, so I will know where I'm cutting off. So you can see the crease line, then this place will go off, so I will have to tape it together to form the yoke. So these all parts are going to come off, so I'm taping this side to the other part of it to form the yoke. So now I'm going to take my measurements. First of all, this is how I'm going to be taking the measurements. You know, we already have a dart at the middle, so I'll start from where the middle of my bust, my measurements, before the dart. I'll take what I have there and pin it down and push it to the other part where the measurement starts. Then I'll mark my measurements. You know, there is no, those other parts are that. So, but instead you can also take it, just take it direct, then measure what you have. Let's say your measurement is 9, you can take the 9, measure the darts that you are going to cut out, then remark it to this side before adding your extra allowance that you are using for sewing, if you are going to be adding it to the pattern. So I'll do the same thing for the other parts, or you can just spin it down like I marked from the middle now to this part for the under bust measurement. Then I transferred what I had there. I just spin it with my finger, then I transfer what I have there and marked my 7 inch. So I already have that. Well, like I say, if you can't do that, you can just measure everything and mark your 7 inch, then measure the darts in between and add it to the after the measurement that you've already marked, so you will still get your correct measurements. So I'm connecting my measurements now. So on the hip line for my top, I'm going up by 1 inch and I'll connect it to the blouse length, just to give it a defined look at the hip line. Now for the back, I'm going to be drafting out the back, so I will transfer my lines. I'm transferring my half length, my armhole line and my blouse length to the back, because we don't really need the under bust and the rest for the back. So if you want yours to be a blouse with that, you can add insert your darts and insert the measurement for your dart as you are drafting for the back. So I had to do my armhole curve. I divided my armhole into two and went in by 1/2 inch. So I connected it and connected the slope to the curve to my bust measurement. So now, like I said, if you are going to be using a dart for the back, make sure that you add your dart allowance while you are drafting. But my own, I won't be using a dart because I'm going to be boning this dress, so I just want to use this like a dartless bustier for the back because I'm going to be boning it, and there's going to be an eyelet at the back to snatch the dress. So I just marked my neckline, marked my armhole, then I came down with my shoulder slope and connected it to my neckline. So I used 3x1 for the back neckline. So all I have to do now is to just insert my measurements. I divided my bust into 4, my half length waist into 4, and then my hip line, which is my upper hip line, into 4. I just connected, and then I'll be going up by the same 1 inch I went by at the side of my top at the front. So I just did my armhole curve as well. So now for the back, I'm going to be connecting from the armhole line. I'll be making a slope down to that part will be my yoke. So I just like I said, I want it to have a yoke and a lacing bar. So I'm connecting to where I want my yoke to be. If you want it deep or you want it high, just however you want. So now this part is my lacing bar. I'm marking out 1.5. When I going downwards, I'm reducing it, and I made it 1 inch at the hemline because I want the back to close, the lower parts to close. So now this is going to be my lacing bar. However, if you want the dress to have a zip, just ignore this. I'm going to be showing you how to add your zipper allowance. This is going to be a full blouse, then you add your zipper allowance. So now this is my lacing allowance. So I will be cutting this out. So this upper part, if I want it to have a zip, I'll be coming out from the neckline down to the blouse length by 0.75. But when I get to the waistline, I will be reducing my hand to 1/2 inch just to remove any zipper bulge. Then I'll just connect. Then for the hemline, I'll come out again by 0.75. So I'll just connect my straight line. So you can already see we've drafted a full back with the zipper allowance. So if you want yours to have a zipper allowance, you are just going to cut direct like this without taking anything off. You cut from where I wrote the zipper allowance. You won't then, but if you want yours to have a yoke and a back lacing, but this is how you'll be doing yours. So mine, I'll be cutting out the zipper allowance and the lacing bar. So I'm trying to draw out my yoke. Like I said, mine is going to have a yoke and a lacing bar. So I'm trying to draw out my yoke. So this is the pattern of yoke I'll be using. Please remember to shape the hemline of the back. I forgot to shape mine in the video, the way I shaped the hemline of the front. So please kindly remember to shape yours. I shaped mine after I've already taken it off the video. So now this is the zipper allowance for the back. Now that part is for the lacing bar, the lacing allowance. So where my eyelets are going to fit into my eyelets will be fitting into after the part I cut out. My eyelets will be at the next part. So I'm supposed to just draw the eyelet, that's why you understand, but I forgot to do that. So I hope you understand what I mean. So that is it for the back. So this is my yoke and my back bodice is ready. So now all I have to do is to cut out for starting with my front. Now for the front, I have not shaped my front neckline. So whatever neckline that you want it to have, from the over bust, you are going to reshape it. I did not even outline my over bust very well, so I'll be using a line to outline it very well. I only use traces to just indicate where my over bust is, but if you are following this tutorial, you understand where the overbust is. So I will also use my marker pen to outline it now, so you see what I mean. Then before I draw out the neckline, like I said, I haven't shaped the neckline of the front, and even the armhole area, there's supposed to be like a smooth transition. It's not supposed to just be straight, but I'll be doing that for you to understand. So this is the overbust. Like I said, I didn't outline it very clearly. I just used dash lines. So now I'm going to be using a sweetheart neckline for the front of my bustier. So I'll just draw the sweetheart neckline. So the whole part now, like that, the part that even went down is part of the yoke. It's not just going to stop at the part that I outlined. This part is following the yoke as well. So for the armhole part, or the side of the bustier, I'm going to reshape it to touch the armhole line. So I just reshaping it so it is not just straight. So just reshape it a bit. It shouldn't be too low so it doesn't expose your boobs, but just reshape it in a way that there will be a smooth transition into the armhole. So that is how I just reshaped mine. So now just proceed to cut out. Now for the yoke, remember that I'll be overlapping that part to get my yoke. If you use it like this, it's going to be too wide. So remember that part that we overlapped. Yes, I'm going to be closing it with a masking tape, or you can hold it down with a pin. So this is it. I'm just going to overlap it. So this is my front yoke. So this is it. My front yoke is there and complete. So this is my front yoke. You can insert if you want to put your net or however, whatever you want to use for the yoke. So my neckline, I forgot to cut it out, so I'm cutting it out now. So this is my front yoke. Then we'll proceed to cut out the back. So if you want yours to have a zip, you are just going to be cutting it like this straight. You are not going to cut anything out again. So this is the whole stuff that you are going to be cutting out. Like I said, if you want yours to have a dart, and if you are going to be using just a zipper, I think you should have a dart, because it's going to help snatch the middle of the waistline in to avoid bulges as well, aside from the zipper bulge that we took out. So if you want to draft yours and you want yours to have a dart, you can just go with that method and add your dart allowance. So this is it. This is the full what you are just going to use if you want yours to have just a zip. So now I'm going to be taking out my I will be separating my front yoke from my bodice. So I'll first of all cut out the zip before I forget that I have a zipper allowance there, because now there's an addition to the measurement. So I'm going to cut out the zipper allowance. So I'll cut it off, and then I'll take out the allowance for the lacing. So that is it. So this is what I'll be having. So guys, that'll be all for this tutorial. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Please kindly like the video, kindly subscribe to the channel. The likes and subscription means a lot to me. Thank you guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.